The story today is TIFU, or Today I F Up, by confiscating my son's Game Boy and hiding it for 18 years. It's a short story, but I hope the reading will help you guys relax onto sleeping time. Thank you so much for watching all my videos. I appreciate you guys so much. And I hope that I've been able to help you guys relax. This is by Seabelt 3. The story goes, my son was not doing his homework, so I confiscated his Game Boy Advanced. I told him he would get it back next week. Wow, he's a pretty clever dude and knew all my hiding places. So I put it someplace he would never look. Except I suffered a TBI a few years earlier and I forget stuff. So when he did his homework and asked for it after a week, I could not find it. I looked everywhere. Narrator. Obviously, not everywhere. Then we moved house, and I still didn't find it. SpongeBob said, 18 years later. Oh, I think the narrator from SpongeBob is what he meant to say. I was donating some coats I had not worn for a long time, and in the pocket of a Viennese trench coat from the 1930s, I found his Game Boy Advance and turned it on, and it worked. Pokemon appeared. I put fresh batteries into it and handed it to my 28-year-old son, who proceeded to laugh for a good 5 minutes, then played it for a few hours. Then proceeded to tell my wife and other adult children how silly I was. TLDR, hid kid's Game Boy, forgot where. Found it almost 20 years later. Family has further proof that I'm an idiot. Like, that's a long time of just having a loss for 18 years too. Okay, to be fair, he had TBI, or traumatic brain injury, which means, he would have lost his memories anyway, or like having memory issues, right? So it's understandable and forgivable. It's okay, Dad. It's not like you meant harm. It's more like in combination of you not having good memory because of the injury, and and also like the timing of the discipline. It just ended up being an 18 years delay. I wonder if he should just bought like a Game Boy Advance, a new one, since it was hidden away. Charlie 523 said, Dad, is that you? Jokes aside, my parents also hid my Game Boy Color all the time because I would secretly play under my bed covers when I should be sleeping. They kept hiding it, but I kept finding it. I don't remember how old I was, but I was probably around 10 to 12. I'm 30 now, and to this day, I honestly don't remember what happened to it. And my parents also don't remember what happened to it. My theory was that it was hid really well for a long duration, and eventually, everyone just forgot. Maybe it went on vacation or something. I really do miss it though. It was my childhood. It became like a time capsule, a treasure capsule. Blue Citrus said, my dad was in the army, so we had an ambulance of chem lights sitting around in the garage. I would read or play my Game Boy Pocket for what felt like hours to me, using the light from these tiny glowing sticks. Lamau. I got caught when I was too lazy to toss them in the morning. My mom found like 5 of them when she changed my sheets. Side note, I really miss my Game Boy Color too. My dad lost it in Poland. Oh my goodness. AKA, I made him take it because I thought he'd be bored. He was in the field training. And probably one of the soldiers took it. I got a GBA that Christmas though to make up for it. Hola. Wait, is it Ola? Or Holla? Oh, it's Holla. Holla. Tavis Namara said, I had a nightlight for several years longer than I actually cared about having a nightlight. I lean over on the side of my bed and play by the light of the nightlight. And then I got the GBA special. Oh, SB. You know what? When I was a kid, I really wanted a GBA SB. I only had GBC, Game Boy Color. That's all I had. I never even had the GBA, just Game Boy Color. That's all I had. But it was like, oh, if only I can get like a Game Boy Advance SB, I would have played so many games. There were so many games I really wanted to play. I think that's why I have fascination for pixel art games these days, because I really want to relive my 8-bit days when I was a kid, where I used to play on these handheld consoles. I don't really care much about graphics of a game, as in like it doesn't have to be like advanced 3D. You know, for me, pixel art games are my go-to. I like games where you can see from a bird's eye perspective, and I like those 8-bit retro music as well. If anything, I should play, Zelda and all those old Nintendo games. I need to get myself a GBA, somehow, and play those games, because I really miss the days of playing those games. I mean, like, I didn't play those exact games, but pixel art games. Yeah, but something about pixel art, because first off and foremost, it's very easy for most PCs or hardware to play on those kind of games, but you can also get that charming, pixel art vibe. And one of my favorite games right now is Octopath Traveler and Octopath Traveler 2, because it's pixel art meets 3D. So it's a very nice combination of like modern graphics plus retro 8-bit graphics, which for me is just beautiful. I love those kind of games. And also, A22E said, I can't believe the GBA is 18 plus years old. Well, considering this post was like 4 years ago, so it's 22 years old. Dang, that's really old. Apathetic said, I was 9 when I got mine. I'm now 29. I definitely spent my Christmas money on it, and my dad bought me my first game. Puyo Puyo. Oh, I should play Puyo Puyo Tetris. My first game was Jurassic Park, because I love dinosaurs and was sure it was some epic dinosaur fighting game or something. It was just a building tycoon type of game. Played for like 5 minutes and never touched it again. Then I found Pokemon, and the rest is history. Oh yeah, Pokemon is definitely the game to play. You're gonna be on a GBA or a GBC. What's that, Loki? How you doing? My heart breaks for young you. That had to be super disappointing. Oh yeah, like, getting a shoddy game is not fun. Party Hat said, oh, it was. Wasted all my saved money on the GBA, and my dad said, buy me one game, and that's all I got. Good thing I played Game Boy games though. I just played my old Game Boy games, and I saved for Pokemon Ruby. Ooh. Nebula said, I just woke up like 10 minutes ago. I'm tired. Oh, I see. Good morning. We're doing a recording for YouTube right now real quick. But yeah, I hope, you feel more awake soon. I'm so sorry that this video will probably put you to sleep instead. Apathetic said, my brother-in-law sent my husband his old Game Boy Color. The screen was cracked and I needed a charger. Now my 7-year-old plays Pokemon on it. It's crazy how it's so timeless. That is true. Just be mindful about the game cartridges. They have a little watch battery inside them in order to keep this data saved. The battery will die eventually and the game won't boot up. When you replace the battery, you lose all the previous saved data. There's a method on YouTube about how to replace the battery while keeping the cartridge charged. And it's worth it unless you want your 7-year-old to experience heartbreak. Oh. You won't put me to sleep? Okay, Keith. Well, make sure you know, like warm up to your morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. I mean, he's already got locked out his Pokemon Go account, so I think he's well versed in a heartbreak. Oh no. It's a good lesson to learn. Smart kid me thought I could new game Pokemon Blue. Trade starters load save and trade starters back. Okay, you know what? These details, I'm not even sure if I can relate to them. Turned out that clicking through menus made me not realize it saves when trading and lost my game. Tears were involved. Final Fantasy VIII, everything on a single save. Entered a part I was woefully unprepared for. Saved inside and had no option to back out and or level. Tears were involved when I realized the game was a lost cause and I had to play through 3 discs again, learn to make multiple saves. Final Fantasy IX, I tried a new game with knowledge of the first parts of the game to get a better start. Got bored and wanted to return to previous progress. Turned out, I saved over my original save. Oh my god, so many tears. Tears were involved. Oh no, yeah, I would cry too if I overwrite my original save in, let's say, you know, like Octopath Traveler, but luckily they have like 20 plus save slots, so I think you're good. I'm good. I now keep backups of a lot of stuff when playing RPGs. I have lots of multiple saves and I'm still careful when saving over any of them. These are lessons that cannot be taught, but have to be lived. And the heartbreak serves as a solid implementation to your memory of them. You know what? I am a proponent of learning through experience because there are a lot of things in life that you will not learn unless you go through something that is rather life-changing. I wouldn't say traumatic, but I would say tough enough to leave an impression, right? So, yeah. There are still lessons like, for example, English is not my first language. And I remember when I was younger, I said something worser. And then one of my friends said, hey, there's no such thing as worser. There's bad, worse, and worst. And till today, it reminded me how silly English is. That, you know, there's better, but no worser. There's only worse as a comparative word. Or the fact that pronunciation. For example, one time I was talking to my friend who's American, and then I said April, and then he laughed at me. He said, April. And I said, what did I do? I was embarrassed. I was mortified. I was like, wait, how do you say it? Is it not April? And he said, oh, it's April. And from then on, whenever I say April, I make sure to say April the right way because I don't want to get embarrassed ever again. It was, I wouldn't say traumatic, but it's life-changing because every single time there's a life-changing event in my life, I will remember the scene of that memory in color because everything's so vivid. I remember I was in a call with my friend on Discord and he went, April. As if it's such, well, he didn't mean to be mean. He wasn't being mean. He was just like, April. That's it. But I got so embarrassed. I was like, Wow, did I say something completely wrong? Because as somebody whose language is not English, his first language is not English, I was very self-conscious, you know? And talking to an American made me feel very, very um, scared that I might make a mistake. And I did. But it's okay, I learned. And if anything, I speak better now, thanks to my friends. Welcome back, Crystal. Yes, recording time. We're reading about a dad who tried to hide his son's Game Boy Advance, but he got brain injury, so he could not remember where he hid it. So for 18 years, the Game Boy was lost somewhere. Then he found it in a jacket. That reminds me of like somebody who bought a couch and then found $20,000 in it. And then they were like, they returned the money. By the way, bless them, because they were very honest and they actually returned the money to the rightful owner. But a lot of people were like, oh, why did you return the money? That's crazy, because like that's a lot of money, you know? Why do you have to return it? Right? And I was like, yeah, I guess when you think about it, it might sound silly, but I am very proud of people who do the right thing, even though the right thing is the hard thing to do. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes the right thing might be silly. I remember one time my mom found like a coin pouch on the floor of a mall. Right? It's just a coin pouch. I think it's less than $5 in there. So she's like, "Yay, we found money." My older brother was like, "Oh, we have to return it," and she's like, "Why? Keep it." And then he was like, "No, this is not the right thing to do," and it became a core memory to me, because I guess like when I thought about it, I realized my mom, the adult, wanted to keep the money, while my brother, the kid, wanted to find the rightful owner. And it made me realize that, wow, I was kind of proud of my brother for wanting to do the right thing. Although the right thing is the hard thing to do sometimes. And I just thought it's kind of cool when people try to do the right thing, although the right thing is, something that you have to go through a lot of trouble to just do. It's easier if you keep the money. Like in fact, you'll get more money that way. But the right thing to do is not to keep the money, but to return it, right? So, yeah. Although like sometimes it's hard to do the right thing, I implore not just people, but myself, of course, because like, first and foremost, everything I learn is for myself. To always do the right thing when I can, and to remember that although the right thing can be the more annoying or difficult thing to do, it is often the best thing to do in those kind of situations. So, yeah. But then again, that's probably just me, right? I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way, and I'm sure there are very kind people, around the world who are very honest. I remember like back then when Japan was hit by tsunami, and then like people were in Japan, the Japanese people were collecting the lost stuff and put it in like a warehouse, and they were trying to like make sure that people find their stuff, right? And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like people are very honest and people are very truthful, about these things. Like when you think about it, like you find all, let's say you're hit by a disaster, right? Like, and you are in dire need of something, right? Wouldn't you want to like just keep it to yourself because you might need it, your family might need it, because like, hey, it's an emergency right now. But no, they were like, okay, although I might need it, it's still not mine. I'm not saying that there's no theft in Japan. Obviously there is, right? In any country. But the fact that on that scale, when it happened, they're able to keep their logical mind still intact really is impressive to me. Because for me, who does that? Really? Who does that? And I will always want to meet people like this who always strive to do the right thing, even if the right thing is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. So, yeah, I'm rambling about this, but I do think that, it's just something that I think about at times. Yeah. Okay. This person said, I feel all of your pain. A friend of mine got stuck at a certain part of Final Fantasy X that I had breezed through like 2 months prior. He asked me to help him get through it. So he brings his save over and we rock our way through it. So he brings his save over and we rock our way through it. I was and still am a dumb and I left my memory card in the system along with his little B saved over 400 game into 40-hour game into 20-hour game. Oh. Damn. Ouch. That's a lesson never to play with other people, I guess. I'm kidding. But oh my god, that must have hurt. But anyway, this is a story of a father who basically kept his son's Game Boy Advance in a jacket and forgot about it. I hope this video has helped you like rest and relax, even if you're not sleeping, even if you're like awake right now. I hope it helps relax you. And thanks so much for always watching my video and supporting my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next YouTube video. Bye.